It is day number 67 of vlogging for 20 minutes a day for 365 days. No filters, no edits. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm sorry, but the lighting's not going to be great because it is terribly stormy outside. And I'm sitting down right now because I'm relaxing. I've done a lot today when it comes to my leg, and I feel like I've made some pretty big leaps today. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. But before we go on, I want to thank you all for coming along and joining this journey and being a part of this journey of vlogging for 365 days in a single year. And what I want to say is we've already started bringing in some donations for the charity that we have for this month. And that's for the Humane Society in Brookings, Oregon, where we got Paco. And we want to give back to them because Paco is a huge part of our life. We love him. He's amazing. And why not give back to an organization that puts so much value into our lives? Speaking of the boy, he's right here. He's hanging out. He's chilling. And we're so lucky to have him, like I was saying earlier. He is such a good little dog. A much different dog than what he was originally. And we're just very fortunate. So the really cool part about this Humane Society in Oregon, in Brookings, Oregon, is to adopt a dog, it's only $100. But it's because of people like us that are giving back to this organization that could allow them to get the shots and all the things done for a much lower, at a lower cost to the person potentially adopting that dog. It's supposed to cover those types of fees and stuff, but this gets them food, it gets them, urgent care, it gets them all different types of things. So if we could donate a total of $1,000 together, I think we could do that. I don't think that's hard. I think $1 from every single person that watches the channel would easily get us there. So thank you guys for who have already donated. I'm putting it in the link in the description. If it says No Kids Hungry, it's because I made a mistake. But it is not anymore No Kids Hungry. It is now the Humane Society for Paco. So yeah, thank you again. With that being said, I'll talk a little bit about, right now I'm recovering from ACL surgery. It has been 15 days since the surgery. Today was a pretty good day. My hamstring is bothering me a little bit right now. Like it feels like almost like a little bit of a burn in it because it's basically like, when they do a graft from your hamstring, it's pretty much like you just had like a grade 3 rupture or strain in your hamstring or tear in your hamstring. So right now my body's also rebuilding a hamstring while it's getting used to the graft in the knee. And so that area gets quite sore sometimes. And today I'm dealing with that because I started taking my first steps without the crutches today. Well, I shouldn't say without the crutches. With the crutches, but like barely even holding the crutches. Because I still want to have the crutches there as like a just in case I fall type of thing, or just in case like I need some type of balance. But I did do some like standing, balancing stuff with just the leg while holding a wall. So that way I don't have to worry about falling, but getting that feeling back of standing on that leg, so that way I could work on stability there. I did all my exercises that were like quadricep flexing and leg lifts and leg slides on the bed and off the bed on the floor. And I got to say, I'm amazed by how much ability I have to bend my knee already. And also I have that full extension happening, which it feels great. But I'm amazed by how much bend I have. And I feel really fortunate today because the fact that I have all this, ability to move already should turn into being like a pretty quick recovery. It still is going to take a full year basically before I'm back to sports potentially for like the graft to fully heal. But like I think in a total month's time, I'll be walking no problem. And I will be wearing a brace during it. And I'll be doing a lot of different workouts that include strengthening that quad more. And then I think at the 6-week period is when I start to strengthen my hamstring again. And I'm really looking forward to that because I've had some tightness in like my adductors on the inside there, because I think it's overcompensating for that hamstring. But yeah, it's just wild. Like we take so many things for granted, right? One of them, walking, something simple, right? Because we do it every single day. It feels very natural, very normal. But then when you don't have it, it feels pretty scary or sad, or like, I know there's a lot of people out there that can't walk or that are wheelchair bound and like they're perfectly good in their situation. But like to lose the ability to just like walk freely is a really tough thing. So, I mean, I know that I'm going to get back to being there, but I could see how, I don't know, I think just having this surgery has changed my perspective a little bit just on being thankful for all the things I could do. Like just the ability to put on your socks by yourself, the ability to put on pants. Like I have pants on right now and it was not easy to put them on. I've been wearing shorts because it's so much easier to put them on. Like even right now with the pants on, it's hard to ice. And so I haven't got up to go get ice because that's also hard, to try to carry 3 different bags of ice while using your crutches. It just gives you a total new perspective on like how hard things could potentially be. Granted, I know I'm healing, so I'm fine. But how much harder it is for other people that never get to go back to the stage of walking or never get to go back to the stage of healing to a point where they can, feel comfortable again. So I'm really thankful for my situation. Oh my gosh. On the TV right now, there's like the not top 10, and the guy spiked the ball and it hit him right in the nuts. Ouch. But yeah, I'm so overwhelmingly thankful for all the comments that you guys have been putting up and, just being a part of this journey with me. Because if it's not for you guys, I don't know where I would be. I don't know what I would be doing, honestly. Like this last video, over 420 views now, according to this, and still rising in half a day. And even though I know that the numbers have went down significantly in the sense of like we used to get at least 1,000 views, 1,200 views every single video, and it's dropped a bit. And I'm okay with that. And the reason why I'm okay with that is because like imagine filling a room with 420 people. That's a lot of freaking people, Imagine just getting through the one person and making them feel better about their day or their life, or making them feel like they have a sense of community, right? That's what this channel is definitely doing. And we are your community. So you guys could talk to each other in the comments too as well, and like be kind to one another, obviously. But it's like, it's amazing that we could help people like this. Even just seeing me go through being sad about what I'm going through in the moment. Even though I'm not a sad person, I'm very optimistic. I'm very much like, I find the positives in everything. Being vulnerable is also part of this. So if that's helping you, thank you. I'm happy that I'm able to help. And you're also helping me. So this isn't a one-way street. But I did want to talk about a few of the comments today because there was one that was just like kind of incredibly beautiful. There's several of them that are. But Lisa said, I have fallen in love with all 4 of you, 65 days. Spending 20 minutes daily with each of you has truly made life better. Thank you for sharing your life in the real, raw, like sugar. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that with a little heart at the end. I appreciate that, Lisa. It's been a blessing to be able to share our lives. And we're so thankful for you for watching. And we're thankful that we can make your day just that much better. But because sometimes, I think it's really easy to get lonely nowadays, especially with the phone in front of us a lot. Um, so if we could be a part of your friendship, a part of your community, we're definitely happy to be so. We got this one here. Says, this is Lust Traveler. You're doing so well. You're very lucky to have Alex helping you. I very much am. My family loves to play games. Right now we are enjoying Slate. You need 3 people, and we love Sequence, Farkle, and the old standard Yahtzee. Very cool. Lori, good day, FNA and Everly. Beautiful view to start my day. My favorite games are Euchre, Uno, and a board game called Life. Oh, very cool. I know all of them. We actually really enjoy playing Euchre as well. And I haven't played Life in a long time. I feel like Life is one of those games that randomly comes out and you play. And I feel like that the last time I played it, I was like, I remember this being more fun as a kid. Just saying. It's still fun, but I don't know. For whatever reason, Life just felt like when I was a kid, it felt like this like really cool classic game. Now that I'm a little bit older, it's just not as, I don't know, for whatever reason, it doesn't have the same appeal to me. How about that? Sprocket Van James is, we just played Dutch Blitz with Paul and Sarah from PS Adventure, some of our other friends. I was definitely disadvantaged with my left shoulder. Yeah, so James has a shoulder injury right now, so he's going through a shoulder injury as well as I am. And I'm not a shoulder injury, but a knee injury, so we feel each other's pain at the moment. So yeah, I get it. He did say that he's considering it part of his physical therapy. That's hilarious. But yeah, it's like just being able to relate with one another has been really nice. Has been very eye-opening, and it really also shows how many other people are going through an issue with injury or an issue with health or an issue with something. Everybody's life is different and the way you go about it's different, but everybody's going through something at some point in time. And I remember my buddy Chase from Tio Ventura. Now they just go by Chase and Maria Jose. But I remember at one point in time he said, people, like, no matter who you come across, some people are going to might have like a negative kind of impact towards your feeling or whatever, or some people might have a really positive one, right? But the thing is this, the ones that have the negative one, he said, they're just going about their day with what they know. They're doing the best with what they know. And when he said that to me, it really like hit a string. It's like, at that day, in that time, that's the best that they know, whether it's like because they're dealing with something and that's the way that they cope with dealing with something is maybe blaming on something on somebody else or being angry or mean. That's just them doing their best with what they know, So it's like you can fault them for it, but also at the same time you can't, because maybe somebody didn't teach them a better way. Or maybe the better way didn't like absorb into their brain. And yeah, so maybe you could say something or do something that might slightly help them. And if you say something and they continue, you just walk away, right? It's one of those things where it's like you can't make everybody happy, but maybe you could leave a little seed of something for them to change their own life, There's been so many people that have been so impactful in my life for me, like to grow into the person I am. I mean, definitely my mother and father, my grandmother, my aunts, my brother, my sister, like all these people, Alex's family, Alex's mom and dad. But people outside also, like even just yesterday, we stopped at Farnover Market. like a neighborhood kind of grocery store on the way into the area that we live in, and there was a man there that sells he sells maple syrup. And I asked him, first he said, "Is that your truck over there?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh man, that must be terrible if you have to get into, what happened?" And I said, "Oh, I had ACL surgery, blah, blah, blah." I told him the whole story. And I said, "I see you there selling those bottles of maple syrup all the time. Do you do good with selling them?" And he said, "Yeah, I do pretty good selling them. You should buy one." And I said, "I will one day, but we have plenty of maple syrup. So next time we cross by, I'd probably buy one from him." But the guy's there every single day, basically, selling maple syrup. And I think that's the first time he's ever said something to me. And it just made me, like, once again, remember and realize that maybe I should have went over and talked to the guy just to talk to him, because I don't see a lot of people going over there to talk to him. And I don't know if people think he's like a little bit off or whatever the case might be. But I don't see him talking to a lot of people. So, I don't know if the guy's lonely or not. So next time I go past and he's there, or if I'm in the area and he's there, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say hello to him and see how he's doing and maybe pick up a bottle of that maple syrup. It's just interesting to me. Like, even sometimes I've come across people in like a supermarket that like have just been genuinely nice to me. Like today, I went and grabbed food because Alex, Everly, and the family went over to my niece's recital. And so I was here by myself. I didn't want to have to go there and sit through a basically 7-8 hour day of being up at leaving at 3, getting back they're not even back yet. It's almost 8 o'clock at night. It's past 8 o'clock at night. Speaking of, I actually got to take my pain medication, my Tylenol. But I didn't want to have to sit through that. So I stayed home and I just went out for something to eat. And I went and got shawarma. And when I was there, one of the guys started talking to me. And we just started chit-chatting. We started talking about different things. He was like, "What happened to your leg?" And I said, "Oh, I got ACL surgery." And he was like, "Yeah, my boss actually just got ACL surgery. Man, that really puts you out, huh?" And I said, "Yeah, it does." But I said, "Honestly, it's really not that bad. The first week was really tough. And since then, I've been pretty okay." The hardest thing for me is like remembering to rest and like to stop when I have been doing this, but like the hardest thing for me is like when I feel something, I sometimes get discouraged because I'm like, "Oh, I felt like my knee catch a little bit," or "I felt this." And then I got to remember, oh, that's just scar tissue. That's like pretty normal when you go through a knee surgery. But I've never been through it, so I don't really know what's normal and what's not normal. So, you kind of get into this little like, oh, is it okay? Am I stretching the graft? Am I doing things wrong? Granted, I talked to my physical therapist about it, and she kind of reassured me that it's going to be fairly hard to mess it up unless like I take a big fall or like I overwork it. And so, but when I was talking to this guy, we started talking about baseball, and he's a big Jays fan, and he's like, "Where are you from?" Because he heard the accent. I told him I'm from New York. He's like, "Oh, you must be a Yankee fan then, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "But I don't hate on the Jays because like I'm a Yankee fan. We've won a lot. I have no hatred against any team except for really the Red Sox. And I don't hate the Red Sox, but like I like the rivalry. I like to talk shit when about the rivalry and stuff with friends who are fans." And I haven't had that type of back and forth banter in a while. But yeah, we were just talking about the games and how they recently split and like how I was actually rooting for the Jays to win the World Series against the Dodgers because the Dodgers beat the Yankees the year before. So for me, is like I told him I went to one of these games, but that kid is living in the area right now He's a cook at one of the restaurants in the area, and he just stays out here in a cottage, and he loves it, you know. But just to be able to have that, you know, random conversation with the random person just goes to show how beautiful this place really actually is, and the planet that we live on, and the place that we all live together if you give everybody the opportunity, and you don't just judge people. So I guess that's what I was coming around to, is like, we don't need to judge each other. Let's just have a conversation with one another and go from there, you know? But it's been 20 minutes, and I hope to see you tomorrow.